truth. Because this question, it feels like it's everywhere, doesn't it? You see it in arguments online. You might even feel it at the dinner table with family. It's kind of what's behind so many of our biggest disagreements. And even get a handle on it, we've got to go back to square one.
So, before we can even get into why everything feels so confusing, we need to make sure we're all on the same page. What are we even talking about when we say truth? So, let's grab a couple of tools from the philosopher's toolkit and get our definitions straight.
First things first, reality. Yep, with a capital R. This is, well, it's everything. The fundamental stuff of the universe that's just there. It exists completely on its own, whether we're around to notice it or not. It's the objective world that doesn't care about our opinions.
Okay, next up is truth. And this is a super important distinction. Truth isn't reality itself. It's a statement about reality. So a sentence is true if, and only if, it lines up with what's actually real. It's all about that perfect match between what we say and what is.
And our third term is authenticity. This one's a little different. It's about whether something is, well, the real deal. Is that a genuine Rolex or a knockoff? Is that an authentic painting by a master or just a really good copy? It's all about being true to its own nature. So let's recap real quick. We've got 3 different ways of talking about what's real. There's reality, the world out there. There's truth, our accurate statements about that world. And there's authenticity, the genuineness of a thing. Seems pretty straightforward, right? Well, this is where it starts to get messy.
So yeah, that neat little model we just built, let's talk about where it starts to crumble. Because honestly, this is where it gets really interesting and you start to see the roots of our modern mess.
This leads us straight into a classic philosophical headache, the correspondence problem. Okay, so we said truth is when our ideas match reality. Sounds good, but how do we actually check? I mean, think about it. You can't literally step outside your own brain to compare your thought with the real world. There's no way to get that bird's eye view.
Let's make this super simple. You think to yourself, I have a coin in my hand. And yep, there's a physical coin sitting in your palm. But what connects the thought of the coin to the actual coin? How do you verify that connection? The truth is, we just kind of assume it. Philosophers have a name for this. They call it the unseen gap. It's this little leap of faith that we all take all the time without even realizing it. And look, checking a coin is one thing. It's pretty easy, right? But what about something like love or justice? When you say that was a just decision, what thing in reality are you pointing to? You can't hold justice in your hand. And this is where that simple definition of truth really starts to show its cracks.
Now, this little philosophical problem isn't just for dusty old books. Oh no, it has massive real-world consequences. In fact, it's one of the keys to understanding this whole idea of a post-truth world that we hear so much about.
The philosopher Harry Frankfurt came up with a brilliant idea for this. He makes a distinction between a liar and, well, a bullshitter. Think about it. A liar actually has to respect the truth. They know what's real and they're deliberately trying to conceal it. But the bullshitter, they don't care about the truth at all, not one bit. For them, it's completely irrelevant. All that matters is achieving some other goal. Maybe it's winning an argument, getting votes, or just getting attention. And this is where you get the psychology behind a lot of post-truth thinking. Take a classic conspiracy theory. For a lot of people who believe it, it's not actually about the facts or the evidence. It's about something deeper. It's about belonging to a group, about feeling like you have some secret knowledge that gives you control in a confusing world. Or maybe it's a way of pushing back against the elites. It's driven by emotion, not logic. And that's exactly why just throwing facts at someone in this mindset almost never works. Because the goal isn't to have a good faith argument about what's real. The goal is often to shut down the conversation completely. It stops being a search for truth and becomes more of a performance, a way of saying, this is who I am and this is what my team believes. Okay, so where does that leave us? It's a pretty bleak picture, right? If the whole idea of truth is kind of wobbly to begin with and some people have just checked out of the conversation entirely, what on earth are we supposed to do? How do we find our way back?
Well, the solution probably isn't some single magic answer. It's more about changing our whole approach. We need to get smarter about how we think about knowing things. It's a concept you could call epistemic calibration. Basically, it just means we need to adjust our expectations for how certain we can be, depending on what we're talking about.
Here's what I mean. Think about the difference between a math problem and a historical fact. The idea that a triangle's angles add up to 180 degrees?
That can be proven with absolute logical certainty. But a historical event like the moon landing, that relies on a mountain of evidence, photos, videos, testimonies, rock samples. It's incredibly strong evidence, but it's not the same kind of certainty as a math proof. And here's the trap. If you demand a mathematical level proof for everything, then suddenly nothing seems true anymore.
This actually goes way back. The philosopher Immanuel Kant had this idea about what it means to be enlightened. And for him, it was all about reaching a kind of intellectual adulthood. It's that moment you stop just looking to some authority, a book, a leader, a scientist, to hand you the right answer on a silver platter. Instead, you take on the hard work of figuring things out for yourself. You take responsibility for your own understanding.
So naturally, you might be thinking, okay, great, so what's the plan? What should we do? But here's the real twist, and it's a bit of a mind bender. Asking that very question, what should I do, is kind of falling back into the old way of thinking. You're still asking for someone else to give you the instructions, right? And that's the very thing we need to move past.
And that brings us to the most important takeaway of all. Truth, it isn't some destination you arrive at. It's not a thing you can capture and own, like a trophy for your shelf. It's not just a list of facts you memorize. It's a verb. It's a process. It's this messy, difficult, ongoing effort to understand the world. And it's a journey that every single one of us in every new generation has to take for themselves. The work you see is never, ever finished.